Welcome, have a nice day. Today is Thursday, 4th of May 2023. This day is celebrated as Star Wars Day. Is an informal commemorative day observed annually on May 4 to celebrate the Star Wars media franchise created by founder, former chairman and CEO of Lucasfilm, George Lucas. Observance of the day spread quickly through media and grassroots celebrations since the franchise began in 1977. This day is also celebrated as Coal Miners' Day. It is observed annually on May 4th to honor and pay tribute to coal miners and their contributions to society. So, starting the newspaper analysis with the newspaper, The Hindu states that deployed in violence hit Manipur. 4,000 people shifted. The army and Assam Rifles were deployed to control the situation in Manipur, where violence broke out during a tribal agitation. A defense spokesperson said on Thursday, May 4, 2023. According to defense sources, flag marches are being conducted to keep situation under control. A video shows armed mob during a rally in Manipur's Chorachandrapur on May 3, 2023. The Hindu newspaper also states that Russia accuses Ukraine of drone attack aimed at President Putin. Kiev denies claim. Russia said Wednesday it had shot down two drones at President Vladimir Putin's Kremlin residence in what it is called a Ukrainian terrorist association attempt. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Mr. Putin was working at his residence near Moscow on May 3rd and would still take part in a scheduled WW's second Victory Day parade on Red Square next week as planned. Russian President Vladimir Putin. The Hindu newspaper also states that at a United Nations world is divided, nations agree there is little trust. The world is divided. Nations agreed on May 3rd on one thing: there is lack of trust in a world beset by conflicts and crises. The world is divided. Nations agree on one thing: there is lack of trust in a world beset by conflicts and crises. Ignacio Cassis, a federal counselor of foreign affairs of Switzerland and current president of the United Nations Security Council, presides over a meeting of the council Wednesday, May 3rd, 2023 at United Nations headquarters. Going towards the Indian Express newspaper states that not just wrestling, half of National Sports Federation don't have sexual harassment a panel mandated by law. Surge in women in sports, but 16 of 30 national sports federation don't comply with POSHA law. Either they don't have an internal complaints committee or don't meet stipulated conditions. Wrestlers Sakshi Malik, Vinesh Fogart, and Bajrang Punia started the protest on Wednesday. Indian Express also states that watch Ukrainian soldier who lost both legs in war prepares for running career on prosthetics. Olkasandar Budko is preparing to participate in the upcoming Invictus Games and international sports competition for wounded soldiers and veterans. Alexander Budko was working as a barista in Kiev and aspired to be a designer when his plans were disrupted after Russia invaded Ukraine in the last February 2022. Budko was conspired into a Ukrainian army, and on the fateful day of August 24, 2022, he was hit by shell while on the front line. Indian Express also states that Olympian ex-Russian cop and in an illicit LSD lab how an international drug cartel in Goa was busted. In April, the NCB arrested two Russian nationals and two Indians for their alleged involvement in an international drug cartel. The arrests helped the Drug Enforcement Agency net one of the biggest seizures of LSD stamps in Goa in recent years. On April 28, evening, a team from the Goa unit of the Narcotics Control Bureau (NCB) reached Ashram Beach in North Goa, waded right into the waters, and netted their big fish. The seizures made by the NCB following arrests in the connection with this case. Going towards the Hindustan Times newspaper states that Delhi metro ridership at 90% of pre-COVID levels DMRC. The Delhi metro readership stands at 90% of pre-COVID pandemic levels. Delhi Metro Rail Corporation Managing Director Vikas Kumar said on Wednesday. Kumar was speaking at DMRC's 29th Foundation Day, stating the metro has been able to scale new frontiers despite several hurdles. DMRC Managing Director Vikas Kumar said Delhi Metro has been able to scale new frontiers despite hurdles. Hindustan Times also states that it is no one else competent Supreme Court on Mishra's extension as enforcement drive chief. The Supreme Court on Wednesday questioned the Center about the third extension of service granted to Director of Enforcement Directorate (ED) Sanjay Kumar Mishra and wondered one person can be so indispensable. Director of Enforcement Directorate Sanjay Kumar Mishra. Remember the name, Sanjay Kumar Mishra. Hindustan Times also states that we may consider banning a Bajrang Dal if needed. Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel. Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel on Wednesday claimed that appropriate action will be taken against the Bajrang Dal and, if needed, that the state in dispensation may consider banning the organization in the state. Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Mr. Bhupesh Baghel says. Going towards the economy of the country, for India's service firms, April was the best month in almost 13 years. S&P Global PMI. Business confidence, which had plummeted to an 8-month low in March, revives a bit in April, says S&P Global Indian Service PMI Business Activity Index. The services sector's performance lifted overall output in the India's private sector to the higher level since July 2010, with the aggregate sales also rising at the fastest pace in almost 13 years. Sensex Nifty rebound, trade higher in early trade. Larsen and Tobro, Bajaj Finance, Titan, Tata Steel, Bajaj Finserv, State Bank of India, Tata Consultancy Services, NTPC and Reliance Industries were biggest gainers. Needed a robust ADB that adopts transformational approach for regional development. Finance Minister Mr. Nirmala Sitharaman on Thursday stressed on the need for a robust ADB that adopts a transformational rather than an incremental approach for the sustainable and resilient regional development. World passing through age of resets, ADB needs to adopt a transformational rather than incremental approach, Nirmala Sitharaman says. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman with Japan Bank of International Cooperation Governor Hayashi Nobumitsu during a meeting on the sidelines of the 56th ADB annual meeting in Incheon, South Korea. Going towards the world news, including a 13-year-old Serbian shooter who killed 9 people, called police himself, was caught by fear and panic and funny breathing. Police arrest a suspect in fatal mass shooting at Atlanta Medical Center. Iran sees a second oil tanker in week in Gulf, United States Navy. Refugee wrecked in Nepal. Officials held a warrant against ex-minister. Political prisoners among 2,000 pardoned by Myanmar junta. Going towards the science and technology, United States regulator proposes a ban on Meta profiting from minors' data. The United States Federal Trade Commission on Wednesday accused Meta's Facebook of misleading parents about protections for children and proposed tightening an existing agreement on privacy to include a ban on making money from minors' data. The FTC accused Meta's Facebook for misleading parents about protections for children and proposed tightening an existing privacy agreement. India will get its own index to quantify heat impact next year. India Meteorological Department's chief says, along with the temperature and humidity, it will integrate other parameters such as wind and duration of exposure. Google Meta executives push back against Canada's online news bill. Google and Meta would withdraw access to news articles in Canada if legislation compelling internet companies to pay news publishers is passed, company executives told Canadian lawmakers on Wednesday. Google and Meta said they would withdraw access to news articles in Canada if legislation compelling internet companies to pay news publishers is passed. At last, there's a famous quotation said by a famous scientist, that's Albert Einstein, whose birth anniversary is 14 March 1879 to up to the 18 April 1955, was a German-born theoretical physicist, widely acknowledged to be one of the greatest and most influential physicists of all time, best known by developing the theory of relativity. He also made important contributions to the development of the theory of quantum mechanics. Relativity and quantum mechanics are the two pillars of modern physics. His mass energy equivalence formula E is equal to mc square, which arises from relativity theory, has been dubbed the world's most famous equation. His work is also known for its influence on the philosophy of science. He received the 1921 Nobel Prize in Physics for his service to theoretical physics, and especially for his discovery of the law of photoelectric effect, a pivotal step in the development of quantum theory. His intellectual achievements and originality resulted in Einstein becoming a synonymous with genius. Einsteinium, one of the synthetic elements in the periodic table, was named in his honor. There is the great scientist says a famous quotation. He says that a student is not a container you have to fill, but a torch you have to light up. Okay, thank you.